Following a 30-yard punt, the Cardinals have the ball now in San Francisco territory, 1st and 10 at the 43. Steve Pisarkowitz is the quarterback. He is 1 for 7, a total of 4 yards in the air for the St. Louis Cardinals.
You saw that jet heater on the sidelines. It's in the 30, about 33, 34 degrees now. Warmed up.
Harrell stops to throw. The southpaw puts it up. Tilley can't get it. Hicks didn't see it.
Willard Harrell, when he was with the Green Bay Packers, used to throw that play quite a bit. Tilley a little bit disgusted, a little bit underthrown on the play. He was wide open. Tilley's at the top of your screen, little pitch, sweep left. Theodis Brown out in front blocking. Left-hander. Throws it, and you could see he was wide open. He had Dwight Hicks beaten.
So it'll be 2nd and 10. Cardinals at the San Francisco 43-yard line. Theodis Brown and Otis Anderson are the setbacks for the Cards. Tilley's in the slot right. That's Anderson. Oh, but there is Dwayne Board.
Nobody touched him. Poor blocking up front. Anderson a little bit disgusted. You know somebody had to block that man.
Little booing from the stands.
And Pittsburgh now 14 in front of the Bengals, 3rd quarter. Lynn Swan has called a touchdown.
Otis Brown, and he gets inside the 45 to the 43-yard line before Al Cowlings brought him down.
That's a little bit of a delayed screen on the right side. Picked up a good block from his center, Tom Banks. Not enough for the first down.
And again, the punter's on the field. That's Steve Little.
Punting contest today.
That's what it's been. Dungy and Hicks have dropped back for the 49ers.
And that hasn't been a good one.
Steve Little. Hicks is at the 10, he's at the 15, and he's at the 17-yard line. So the 49ers start in their own territory. Monday night on CBS, the White Shadow gets a new star player and a great big problem. And then on MASH, Klinger wishes he had 6 hands. And WKRP in Cincinnati, it's ratings time. There's good news and bad news. And then Ed Asner stars on Lou Grant. That's all on CBS on Monday night. 1st and 10 for the 49ers. Hofer and Jackson are the setbacks. Or Joe Montana. Jackson. Fumble the ball out there at the 20-yard line. '49ers retain possession.
It was Randy Cross, I think, who got it back to right guard.
Gained 3 yards on the play, so it'll be 2nd down and 7.
Think anybody will score in this football game?
I'm beginning to wonder. Ocean across. Montana. And he completes this one. No. Incomplete now to Freddie Solomon. Incomplete. Solomon had it for the briefest of times. Roger Worley made the hit on that corner.
Well, he's been All-Pro a long time, 11-year veteran out from the University of Missouri. Really almost tore his head off. And he's limping. There you see Freddie Solomon, who's really the only touchdown threat that they have going deep.
Solomon came in the game with 56 receptions, 7 touchdowns.
Now watch Worley on the outside. He follows him to the inside. Little hook pattern. Look at that left arm go right across his chin. The old clothesline. They could have got a penalty there too, Lindsay. That's
Montana. Did he stay in? Apparently he did. It is being marked complete to Dwight Clark.
Dwight Clark, he's got good size, 6'3 and a half. They ruled he was in bounds on the little bootleg to the right side. That's good control over his feet if he stayed in bounds there, Lindsay.
I'll say, and it's a 1st and 10 at the 38-yard line. There is no score. We have 6 minutes, 11 seconds left to play in the first half. This is Hofer. Got it up there across the 45. Make that Bobby Farrell instead of Hofer on the carry. It was Farrell who carried, 38. And the ball is at the 46-yard line. Second down, 2 yards to go for the 49ers. Hofer and Farrell, the setbacks. Hofer gets the 1st and 10 at midfield.
49ers starting to move the football a little bit. Hofer. Farrell's got 24 yards on 4 carries, but Hofer is a very determined young man, Lindsey, when he gets turned upfield. We've seen him 4 or 5 times this year. When he came up, he worked his tail off on special teams. That's how he made it in the National Football League. And he really still, he's almost in heaven now starting for the 49ers, especially when you got a guy like O.J. Simpson on the team. He couldn't believe it either.
Farrell picked up 3 to the 46-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 7 now for the 49ers. O.J. Simpson has not been in the ball game so far today here on a cold day in St. Louis. They're sending Mike Schumann to a wide right, bringing Dwight Clark to a wide left. Montana, the quarterback. And it is complete.
Hofer.
Hofer came out of the backfield, and he's doubled up. Ball is at the 37-yard line, and this again is an injury delay, as Hofer is the man who is down.
Yeah, they love to throw to the backs. It's a 1st down for the 49ers. Hofer being attended to now.
O.J. Simpson along the sideline.
There's the juice.
Next Saturday, starting at 12 noon Eastern Time, the NFL on CBS has the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. All the action begins with the NFL Today with Brent Musburger, Jane Kennedy, Irv Cross, Jimmy the Greek Snyder, and Jack Whitaker. O.J. Simpson in the ball game now. 1st and 10 for the 49ers at the Cardinals 37. There is no score. 3:59 left in the first half. O.J. Simpson. Charlie Davis closed him off at the pass.
Well, we've seen Simpson 3 or 4 times this year. Bill Walsh likes to use him. They usually use a split backfield, and they usually run him on the sweeps. There it is, 413 yards on the year. Hasn't really played too much, especially in the last 7 weeks.
O.J. goes out of the ball game, and Linville Elliott comes in. O.J. carried 1 time for no gain. It's 2nd and 10 at the 37. Loosen up the wide receivers left and right.
Good defense.
Absolutely. Farrell pulled down just about the line of scrimmage. Might have got one. Bearfield made the tackle. As you see Bill Walsh along the sideline. Gain of about a half yard. Call it 3rd and 9. Outside the 36-yard line. We are approaching the 2-minute warning. We have now 2 minutes 35 seconds left to play in the first half. 3rd down play coming now. Farrell and Elliott are the setbacks. Montana keeps it. Cuts back to the inside and gets inside the 25-yard line. Enough for a 1st and 10 for the 49ers.
Montana Well, he's got the good quick feet. That's what he's noted for, and he's a good scrambler. Picked up 15 yards.
Set to 23, and we have reached the 2-minute warning. Whistle has sounded now. We have 2 minutes remaining to be played in the first half here at Bush Memorial Stadium in St. Louis, and the score is San Francisco 0 and the Cardinals 0.
The world's most advanced twin-blade razors are only as careful, gotcha, as you are. The Norelco rechargeable rotary razor has 36 surgical steel blades, carefully protected by 3 floating heads and a unique shaving angle for a very close shave wherever you are, without a nick or a cut. The choice is yours. The close, careful Norelco rechargeable rotary razor, or 2 blades and gotcha.
We challenged hotshot Garland Dwyer with the Mattel Electronics baseball game.
You are off.
Inside, a tiny thinking computer plays like a team of pros. The computer fires a fastball.
Strike one.
Now a curve. It's a triple. Garland's trying to stretch it home.
You're out.
Pocket Baseball, one of 7 sports games from Mattel Electronics.
Hey, who's in there?
Play both these scored touchdowns. It's absolutely nothing.
With 2 minutes remaining to be played, Bill Walsh talks to Joe Montana, Steve DeBerg looking on, and it is 1st and 10 for the 49ers at the 23-yard line of the Cardinals in a game that has been scoreless to this point. And in his first day as a coach, Larry Wilson. Along the sidelines now was Director of Pro Personnel for the St. Louis Cardinals, but replaced the deposed Bud Wilkinson. O.J. Simpson back in the ball game. Referral is the other setback. 1st and 10 at the 23. O.J. inside the 20-yard line to the 18. He got 5 yards on the carry. The Juice picked them up as Ken Green made the tackle.
There's the coach, Larry Wilson. And he really popularized the safety blitz. Nobody did it better than Larry Wilson. Because I know a lot of times, Lindsay, I played against that guy, and you have to always key Larry Wilson. If he was blitzing, it usually meant we had to pick him up, and he was tough.
2nd and 5. O.J. He got across the 15-yard line out at the 14. Carl Allen had him out, picked up 4 yards on the play.
He almost looks like he limps a little bit on that left side.
Doesn't
a couple of years ago, Lindsay, he would have been way on the outside.
He definitely was limping, and he is headed for the sideline now. Hofer's coming back in. Hofer had bruised ribs, but he is coming back into the ball game.
Nobody ever handled himself, I think, as well in professional football as O.J. Simpson, both on and off the field.
3rd down and a yard to go. The ball is at the 14-yard line, and we have 1 minute, 18 seconds left in the half. There is no score. Hofer, 1st and 10. Patented Hofer advance to the 11-yard line. Roger Worley made the tackle.
And of course, they're going to key Hofer. Looking at the films of the 49ers the last couple of weeks, I'm sure that Larry Wilson had that defense. They're keying on him, but he just dives over on most short yardage situations, especially inside the 5. Hofer's the key back.
Montana picked up the call from the sideline. Montana bobbled the snap, picked up the ball, got to the 10-yard line. Gained about a yard on the play. Davis and Dawson there. Timeout, 49ers. So with 34 seconds left to play in the half, the 49ers have called a timeout, and Joe Montana goes over to have a word with Bill Walsh and his staff. Game's coming up next week on the NFL on CBS.
It's the Rams against Atlanta, New York Giants going against these St. Louis Cardinals, the Bears against Green Bay, and Tampa Bay goes out to San Francisco.
Consult your local listings for the game and time in your area. All the action begins with the NFL today with Brent Musburger, Jane Kennedy, Irv Cross, Jimmy the Greek Snyder, and Jack Whitaker. Paul, you and I will be in San Francisco again next weekend. When you coming out? About Wednesday?
I'll be there about Wednesday or Thursday, Lindsay. You know that. Crabs in season, right?
Absolutely. Is it ever? Larry Wilson. Play is resumed. The ball is at the 10-yard line. It is second down and 9 yards to go for the 49ers, who want to get something on that scoreboard before they head for the dressing room for the halftime intermission.
Well, this will be a short field goal attempt, and Ray Wersching, 49er field goal, has been very accurate all year long. He's 16 out of 20 in the field goal department. See if they go upstairs here.
Send Dwight Clark out to a wide right. Double wing alignment. Hofer in motion across. Montana throws, and it is complete inside the 5-yard line. Hofer was the receiver, and Bearfield made the tackle along with Worley.
Yeah, that's almost like a run, Lindsay. It's just a rollout. They flood the right side. Almost like a basketball pass. Low percentage pass to have intercepted. That's Tom Bettis, one of the defensive coordinators. The Cardinals there with the headset on.
3rd and 4 at the 5-yard line. Farrell and Hofer, the setbacks.
Same play.
This time Montana still has the ball. Changes direction. Goes into the end zone, and it's incomplete. Incomplete. As it was Paul Seal.
Montana with a good move, getting open. Paul Seal was all alone in the left side for 6. Had a double tight end situation here. Paul Seal was loose for 6, couldn't hold on.
4th down play coming up now.
Let's see if we can take another look at it. Roll out right. They had the same play called. Hofer was in the right flat. This time he's covered. Montana reverses his field. Watch, just a little pass right there. Seal could have had it and should have caught the football.
Wersching is in to attempt a 22-yarder now. Ray Wersching, who is 16 for 20 in the field goal department. Wersching's kick is good, and the 49ers are on the scoreboard with 16 seconds left to play in the half. The score, the 49ers 3 and the St. Louis Cardinals nothing. So now, kickoff and 16 seconds to play before the halftime intermission here. As Paul Horning has mentioned several times, the talk of the town has been, of course, the thing that happened on Wednesday morning here in St. Louis when Bud Wilkinson was dismissed as coach by President Bill Bidwell and was replaced for the remainder of the season by the man you've seen along the sidelines here this afternoon, Larry Wilson, with the understanding before Wilson took the job that Pisarkowicz would be the quarterback.
I got a question right now. Now the Cardinals trailing 3-0. What do you do, Lindsay? You bring in Hart in the second half? I don't know. In a normal circumstance, I guess you would.
If you
but
do,
I don't
you
think
call,
today.
If you do, you call Mr. Bidwell first. Wersching tees it up on the 35-yard line.
Wersching kicking off.
Green and Harrell have dropped back. Bounces it downfield. It's fielded at the 28 and covered right there by Chris Garley, a linebacker from Missouri. And the Cardinals attempt to advance it now, but it's already been blown dead back there at the 29-yard line.
Pretty good sustained drive. 17 plays, 78 yards, and up with 3.
Possession, 7 minutes. Seemed like an hour and a half. 15 seconds remaining to be played in the first half. Cardinals with the ball at their own 29.
Won't have any trouble going to sleep on the airplane back home to Louisville tonight. This keeps up.
Still Pisarkowicz. Theodis Brown the UCLAer, and he gets across the 40-yard line. It's a first down for the Cards. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and that's the end of the half.
People don't like it here in St. Louis.
They don't at all. So teams go to the halftime, to the locker rooms for the halftime intermission, with the San Francisco 49ers holding a 3-0 margin on a 22-yard field goal by Wersching, the only scoring play of the ball game between these two teams. So that's the end of the first half here at Bush Memorial Stadium in St. Louis, and the score is San Francisco 3 and the Cards nothing.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
How you holding up? I'm all right. You want to go for 10 miles? If we make it, I'll buy you a beer. If we make it, I'll buy you a Lonebrow.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
The 79 Ford Countdown clearance is underway. Your Ford dealer is receiving allowances and additional cash incentives that he can pass on to you right now when you buy selected new 79 Ford cars and trucks. It could add up to $400 on V8 pickups, $500 on V8 club wagons and vans, $600 on rancheros. So see a Ford dealer now. Ask him about the $400, $500, and $600 better ideas.
If keeping up with your car is getting you down, fight back with STP. STP gas treatment fights to keep your carburetor clean, and that can help keep your engine running like it ought to. Try STP oil treatment. A recent test with older cars that use a lot of oil proved it reduced oil consumption an average of nearly 15% in those cars. Come on, fight back with STP.
Next Saturday at 4:30 Eastern on the CBS Sports Spectacular. Come with us to Val d'Isère, France for highlights of the steep competition of World Cup skiing. Plus, highlights of the finals of the Professional Pool Players 9-Ball Championship. And a report from Yugoslavia on the WBC's first international cruiserweight boxing championship between number 2 ranked Monty Parlope of Yugoslavia and the number 1 ranked contender Marvin Campbell. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
Well, it's that time of year, of course, when a lot of important football games are being played around this country in the National Football League as we approach time for playoffs coming up. So we want to take a look now around the league at some of the important plays and games that have been seen so far this afternoon.
In New York, I'm Brent Musburger. Next for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, an appointment with the 49ers in San Francisco. And the Buccaneers are still having a lot of trouble with their kicking game. 4 blocked or missed a week ago. Today against Chicago, a punt block that set up the Bears' first touchdown in the game. Lee Coons was the Bear who fielded the punt and was able to run down inside the Buccaneers' 5-yard line and set up the touchdown by Walter Payton right here. This was number 60 in Payton's career. Doug Williams threw 3 interceptions in the first half, including this marvelous grab by Gary Fensick. Fensick then was able to get up, gain a few more yards, and from there, Mike Phipps drove Chicago to its second touchdown. This pass to fullback Dave Williams. And Irv, about the only playoff contender to have an easy time, Philadelphia.
Easy indeed. You know, Coach Dick Vermeil said the only thing the Eagles haven't done yet this year is dominate a weaker opponent. And, of course, today against the Detroit Lions, they're having a field day. Ron Jaworski in the first quarter goes up top to number 17, Harold Carmichael, and makes a grab here down to the 13-yard line. Reverse to action in the second quarter. Wilbert Montgomery goes in. Eagles score the first touchdown of the day. Jaworski, keeping with the hot hand, Carmichael goes up top again to number 17, brings in another reception. Eagles increasing their lead. Jaworski looking for number 17 again. Makes the connection. Carmichael, of course, has extended his completion streak now to 110 consecutive games.
Irv, I think the most entertaining game has been in Washington. The Green Bay Packers and the Washington Redskins. Redskins took the opening kickoff marched right down the field. Theismann sent Thompson down over the middle, hit him at the 1-yard line. Thompson banged in. Redskins made it look easy. But then back came Lynn Dickey, who was taking charge of the Packers. Tullis breaks deep down the middle. And without Ken Houston, the Redskins have problems in that secondary. 52-yard Packers score. Theismann then underthrew a receiver, intercepted by Gray. And quickly, it was Dickey and the Packers moving 80 yards, and for the touchdown, Nate Simpson. Then it was Dickey again. Time running out in the second quarter, going long. Thompson breaks free, and it was 21-7 Green Bay. But in the second half, Joe Theismann rallied the Redskins, pressured out of the pocket, ran to the Green Bay 16-yard line before he stepped out of bounds. And then hit Danny Buggs with the touchdown that got the Redskins right back in it. Now let's send you back to Lindsey Nelson and Paul Hornady.
All right, Brett, and here, of course, the halftime score is 3-0 on a Ray Wersching field goal. The San Francisco 49ers scored, and that was the only scoring play in the ballgame so far.
Well, it's usually at this time we show you the highlights of the first half. Since there are none, we'll just forget that today at the halftime. We will give you some other scores around the league. Brent Musburger back in New York gave you some scores. We'll do that in a minute. But right here, it's Ray Wersching's 22-yard field goal, the margin of difference here at halftime. Very lethargic offensive game so far.
We'll return to Bush Memorial Stadium after this word from your local station.
Tonight at 8, 7 Central.
My high school class is naming me Man of the Year.
And the Old Flames return to Archie Bunker's place.
How's Edith?
This is CBS.
No, I only got it down to 10-9. That's all right. All right, let me hold on there. Yeah, it's Mike Pruitt, I guess. 2 touchdowns, okay. Seattle, 21-0.
Let's take a look now at scores from around the league of other games being played today.
Well, Lindsay, the Bears 14, Tampa Bay nothing. Walter Payton scored on a 1-yard run. Williams, a 13-yard pass from Mike Phipps. Tampa Bay trying to clinch a spot today. The Bears 2 games behind, could cut it to 1 with the victory day. The game's still in the 4th quarter. And Philadelphia having an easy time over the Detroit Lions. Harold Carmichael, 2 touchdown passes from Ron Jaworski, 3 field goals by Tony Franklin. Montgomery scored from 1 yard out. Philadelphia just easily over Detroit, 3rd quarter. And the score that was just reported from New York, Washington 28, Green Bay 21. Green Bay jumped out on top. Joe Theismann having another great day, 3 touchdown passes so far. And the Jets, 17-point lead, 3rd quarter over Baltimore. Dave Jacobs scored a couple of touchdowns for the Jets in this one. Teams having problems on the road again. But Pittsburgh, 17 points over the Cincinnati Bengals. Lynn Swann scored a 58-yard touchdown pass. Franco Harris from 1 yard out scored. Rocky Bleier scored. So Pittsburgh, it's on its way to the playoffs. Not too much of a surprise there. Denver now coming back, a 6-point lead over Buffalo in the 3rd quarter. Couple of field goals. Cleveland, and this is a little bit of a surprise. Mike Pruitt has scored twice, once a 42-yard run. He scored another one on a short plunge from 1 yard out. Cleveland over Houston, 14-7. And Seattle having trouble on the road again. Kansas City, 3 touchdowns rushing by McKnight, J.T. Smith, and Earl Gant. 3 touchdowns, Kansas City 21, Seattle nothing, 2nd quarter.
And the halftime score here at Bush Memorial Stadium. The San Francisco 49ers 3 and the St. Louis Cardinals nothing. And we have another halftime of football coming up from here in St. Louis in a few moments.
The NFL on CBS. Today's game is sponsored by Ford and your Ford dealers, who bring you the better idea cars and trucks for the 80s. The Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. And by AC Delco, quality automotive parts for quality motoring. AC Delco.
I never worry about what brand name part my mechanic puts on my car. That doesn't make me a bad guy. I go to a professional mechanic I can trust, so I trust the parts he uses. He uses Mopar. It means nothing to me, but it means a lot to him. Mopar fits all American-made cars, foreign cars too, and they're used by professional mechanics all over the world. If the professional trusts Mopar, I trust Mopar. Does he make me happy? He makes it his business.
Trust your car to Mopar.
By trying harder to save you money, Avis introduced low See America rates.
Keep on trying, America. The effort is really everything. We keep on trying, America.
Because we keep trying, more Americans can afford to see more of America.
At Avis, we don't give up. Trying.
I've had lots of good times in my life, playing for Paul Brown and the Cleveland Browns, making the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and being recognized by the Hall as the game's greatest passer. That was the good news. But then there's a day I got some bad news, when I found out I had colorectal cancer. Luckily, my job as athletic director at the Coast Guard Academy requires regular physicals. If yours doesn't, make it your job to have them yourself. Early detection and advances in cancer research helped me have a successful operation. I'm even back at work full-time. Cancer can be beat. I'm living proof. Let's go to the football game. What do you say? Come on. Come on. 1, 2, 3, hut.
The National Football League and the American Cancer Society are united in the fight against cancer. NFL teams contribute generously to cancer research through NFL charities. They ask you to join them in supporting the American Cancer Society.
The preceding announcement was furnished as a public service for the National Football League. It's halftime here in St. Louis. The 49ers are leading 3-0. It's a cold day here. Temperature is supposed to be, I think, by now somewhere in the 30s. And I want to ask you, Paul, is that an endangered species?
It sure is. I tell you one thing, it's warm. I asked a couple of people a couple of years ago, were these fur coats warm, and I really didn't know if they were or not. A lot of people lie, and they are warm.
I want to congratulate you. You haven't caught it on fire yet this
That's
year.
right. Last week we caught this. Last year, this coat was on fire in one press box around the United States, and I don't want it to happen again, I'll tell you.
Paul, as you mentioned, normally we would have halftime highlights, but there weren't any. So suppose we check out the halftime stats. How'll that be?
Well, I tell you, the halftime stats are not too good. We look at the passing yardage for St. Louis, I think, is the most amazing. They've got 1 yard passing, and of course that's when all the problem was over.
That's
the
what the owner.
Bud Wilkinson. They took out Jim Hart. Jim Hart threw for over 300 yards last week, and probably could have won the game against the Bengals had not Mel Gray dropped a touchdown pass in the last minute. But they've only got 1 yard throwing the football. 49ers over 100 yards in offense, but still way under their average. Look at the first downs. 6 first downs for San Francisco, only 4 for St. Louis. So, folks, stick around. We're going to have a better offense. It's got to get better. It can't get any worse, can it?
I think you're right. These teams have illustrated so far where they've won only 3 games between them. So far, or rather 4 games between them so far this season. Cardinals last week against the Bengals gained 480 yards, and Hart had his best day of the year. Little has teed the ball up on the 35 to kick it off. 49ers are aware that they've lost 16 straight road games, and the loss today would break the NFL record previously set by the Chicago Bears from 1973 to 75.
Never lost 11 games in a season in 59 years.
For the 49ers.
A lot of those years they didn't play 11 games, too.
James Owens has dropped back center deep. He'll return the kickoff.
Ranked number 1 in the NFC kickoff returns, averaging just about 26 yards. And one back, 85 against Denver.
Got Phil Francis on one side and Dwight Hicks on the other as Steve Little kicks it off. Owens at the 6-yard line. He's at the 10, at the 15, 20, 25, 30-yard line. So the 49ers start first and 10 at their own 30-yard line. Randy Love downfield to make the tackle.
As number 44, here he is, Randy Love. We've got him on the ISO for you. Very quick, the rookie out of Houston makes the tackle. Special teams, Dwight Clark trying to block there. Just plays off the interference and tackles a dangerous man.
So it is first and 10 now as the 49ers come up. It's DeBerg at quarterback. DeBerg at quarterback out into the right flat. And he got it to Jackson. Ball was taken away. Kurt Alleman came up with the football. It's at the 35-yard line.
They're going to rule it Cardinal football.
They are. It's going to rule it a fumble and a recovery.
Just a little pass out in the flat by Steve DeBerg. Complete. Got about 6 yards on the pass, but it was stolen by Kurt Alleman.
So now the Cardinals have the ball first and 10 at the 49ers 35-yard line. Sarkowitz, the quarterback, handing it off to Wayne Morris. Wayne Morris got a yard to the 34. So it is second down and 9.
Willie Harper getting up a little bit slow there, the right linebacker. Defensively.
Second down play coming.
Here it is again. Let's show you the steal by Alleman. That right out in the flat. Gets the back going upfield. Wilbert Jackson, it was stolen.
That's Anderson on a delay, and he's inside the 30, inside the 25, and on inside the 20. Dan Bunch finally brought him down. Otis Anderson carried. It's at the 19-yard line, first and 10 for the Cards.
16-yard pickup for Anderson.
They're doubling Gray and Tilley to the right side. Morris is in the right set. Anderson's got the ball. Tries to turn that corner and then tiptoe down the sideline, but he went out of bounds at the 15. Charles Cornelius, 28, pressuring him over there.
Yeah, he's got it all, Lindsey. Size, speed, good control when he's running the football. There's his average per game, just a shade under 100. 73 yards now on 16 carries.
Ball is at the 15-yard line where it's second down and 6 yards to go for the Cardinals. Again, they double Gray and Tilley to the right side. Split Wayne Morris and Otis Anderson. Anderson got about 2, maybe 3. Approach the 12-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 3 now.
Third down, 3 yards to go.
And here is an official's timeout. Ted Vincent going off the field, being replaced by Reuben Vaughn. 3rd and 3 for the Cardinals at the 49ers 12-yard line.
Looks a little bit dazed as he walks over.
Morris and Anderson, double tight end alignment. Morris loosening up. Anderson moving up. Morris. Touchdown! Wayne Morris took it in.
That's just great blocking. What a job Bob Young did, the left guard. We're going to have this on replay for you, and I want you to keep your eye on number 64, Bob Young. He raises one block out here and then goes on downfield right here. Just a little hit. That's the safetyman, Tim Gray. Then he goes downfield and gets a block, enabling Morris to go in standing up. He got a piece of Dwight Hicks.
Roger Worley is holding, and Steve Little will attempt a conversion for the Cardinals.
Didn't knock anybody off his feet, Lindsey, but he controlled two tacklers.
Little's conversion is good. So as they come back up the field, the score is the St. Louis Cardinals 7 and the San Francisco 49ers 3.
Those headlights coming towards you, believe it or not, can actually help save gas, as much as 0.2 of a mile per gallon. Developed by the Sylvania lighting people, these special energy-saving halogen headlamps were put into practical use on one of the 79 model cars. And they're being used much more extensively on the 1980 automobiles.
Gee.
No, GTE.
When you shoot a lot of pool and bars, you want to stay fast and loose, and you don't want to get filled up. That's why I drink light beer from Miller. It's got a third less calories than their regular beer, and it's less filling. Plus, the taste is great. And even though a lot of people don't think pool is strenuous, let me tell you something. You can work up a real good thirst, even when you're just showing off.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Next Saturday and Sunday at 3:30 Eastern, it's the exciting Mixed Team Golf Championship with top female and male pros competing.
There's the St. Louis scoring drive after the turnover, and now Steve Little kicks it off, and Referral has it. 15-20 up to the 25. Referral and James Owens are right together, and Referral took the ball.
Let's quickly take a look at this touchdown play again. Watch the left guard. There he is, 64. Keep your eye on him. Wayne Morris bobbles it a little bit, but watch here. Right here, he takes care of Hicks. Doesn't knock him down, but he got in front of him. Then he takes care of Dwight Hicks, number 22. Tim Gray, number 30. Just great guard play by Bob Young.
49ers, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. DeBerg, the quarterback, then went to Hofer. Hofer got it. It's going to be marked up there for a 2-yard gain at the 27-yard line.
Bill Walsh inserting Steve DeBerg in that lineup, and I'm sure you're going to see a little bit better timing on the passing game in the second half. Montana did a pretty good job for a rookie coming in, playing his first game, I thought, Lindsey. But Steve DeBerg is just about 14 yards shy of throwing for 3,000 yards in the season, close to a lot of 49er records.
Wide receivers left and right for Steve DeBerg. Turn out, taken by Schumann. Schumann upfield to the 40-yard line. John Bearfield from Texas A&M made the stop.
Yeah, great timing on the little turnout to Mike Schumann.
1st and 10 now. Spotted near the 39-yard line.
Most of the 49er passing games, as I said, is thrown on rhythm, especially their short passing game. They really don't have the deep threat. Somebody who can go deep. That's what Bill Walsh is looking for.
Single setback. DeBerg. And it's complete up the middle, across into St. Louis territory. Clark took the pass, and he is stopped at the 41-yard line.
DeBerg opens up second half throwing the football as he's done all year long. 3 for 3 now. And the Jets 13-point lead over the Colts fourth quarter. Jets run it, don't they? Lead the league in rushing.
1st and 10 now at the 41-yard line of the Cardinals. Steve DeBerg. Well, his receiver was down. Schumann, his intended receiver, but he was down.
Perfect example of a rhythm throw, Lindsey, even though he slipped down. DeBerg unloads on rhythm. He didn't fall down. This would have been a completion just right in the section of the zone here. Watch DeBerg, goes back, drops back 5 yards, throws right on rhythm. Now, Mike Schumann slipped down. If he didn't, that would have been a completion.
Second down, 10 yards to go. Berg is 3 for 4 here in the second half. Penalty marker.
Got a free one.
DeBerg, and Hofer's got it, and Hofer's at the 10, and he's gone. Hofer's in the end zone.
Now let's see if that offensive line moved to pull him off, but St. Louis was offside. It could be that the offensive lineman moved. We'll have to check it out.
Illegal procedure against the 49ers, nullifies the touchdown pass. It will be brought back.
That's what it was. Somebody moved, and they drew the Cardinals offside. It looked as if, from our vantage point, and possibly yours sitting at home, that the Cardinals were offsides. They were offsides, but they were drawn on.
DeBerg wants a further explanation from referee Seaman.
Well, they've had 2 big plays called back. That 78-yard punt return, and there's Bill Walsh. This has happened to the 49ers all year.
Get a further explanation now from the referee.
Procedure, head bob, number 17, quarterback.
It's DeBerg with the head bob.
Now you got to keep it still on the snap of the football. Watch the head now. If it really, well, I didn't see any head bob there. We'll have to go back a little bit earlier than that.
Second down and 15 yards to go at the 46. DeBerg. Right over the middle to Hofer, and he's at the 40-yard line. Picked up 6. Kurt Alleman made the tackle.
See if we can go back. Here's Steve DeBerg now. Run it real slow so we can take a shot.
Third down, 9 yards to go.
And that's a touchy call right there. He's calling it out very, very loud here, his signal, so he's normally his outside receivers can hear it good. Tough call, Linz.
Was a tough call. DeBerg.
Again,
Hofer. Incomplete at the 15-yard line.
They just completed that for a touchdown. He was wide open again. He's still down. Oh, he runs nice patterns. Hofer's banged up, hitting that artificial turf.
Hofer was out earlier in the first half. He left the game with bruised ribs and came back. Fourth down now as the punting unit has come on for the 49ers. So James Owens rushing onto the field. DeBerg is off for the punting unit, of course, as the Cards lead by a score of 7-3. 9:22 left to play in the third quarter.
Get ready for the first new truck of the 80s, the new Ford pickup. 1980 Ford test trucks got over 1 million total miles of testing here at Ford's Arizona Proving Grounds, over torture tests like steel-lined potholes and power hop hill. This 1980 Ford pickup has new aerodynamic design, the best gas mileage rating of any American-built standard pickup. Carries a big payload, too. See the first new truck of the 80s. It's built Ford Tough.
One day I'm heading out of Buffalo and my rig won't start up. So this guy comes along and asks me, do I want to jump? I had this big rig, but he had the Go-Getter. Ward's Go-Getter Plus Power. Ward's best, with more cranking power for more starting power. Without that, even a warranty can leave you out in the cold. Warranties don't start cars, batteries do. And the Go-Getter Plus has the power to get you going, even in Buffalo.
Ward's, we do our best for you.
In St. Louis, Missouri, this is Lindsey Nelson with Paul Horning, and the St. Louis Cardinals are leading the San Francisco 49ers by a score of 7-3. Hofer's been getting attention along the sideline. The punting unit is in now, as Melville will do the punting. Harrell and Green have dropped back to receive it for the Cardinals, standing along their own 10-yard line. Melville puts it up, So over the Harold side of the field, it'll go out of bounds. There'll be no run back. It'll be lined up along the sideline. So the Cardinals will start 1st and 10, and they'll start at their own 15-yard line. And they are leading, of course, in the ball game by a score of 7-3 on this sunny, cold day here in St. Louis.
How many times have you wanted to pack it all in and take off? Well, with Hertz Economy fares, the time to go is now. Our subcompacts are only $14.95 a day, weekends, and just $98 a week, all with free mileage. Larger cars are only $1 more a day. And if you rent for 3 weekdays or more, Hertz has special economy fares for that, too. Hertz Economy fares. Now you can't afford not to rent from number one.
Take care of your car at Kmart. Our automotive service centers care.
Shop for Christmas at your Kmart Automotive Center. Save up to $39 on an auto sound system. For just $96, you get an AM/FM stereo radio with 8-track or cassette, plus a pair of great-sounding 5-inch or 6x9 coaxial speakers, all for $96 at Kmart Automotive Centers across the U.S., where quality car products are Kmart priced.
Next Saturday on the CBS Sports Spectacular, it's highlights of World Cup skiing, plus highlights of the 9-ball pool championship, and a report from Yugoslavia on the Monty Parloff and Marvin Campbell fight.